Watching William Byron. He is the fourth car in line on that outside. The problem for Byron is he's got nowhere to go, because if he steps out of line right now, he would go straight to the back.
He would, Tim Catalfamo, and he continues to ride behind Chris Buescher there, the fourth car on the outside lane. Meanwhile, back up front, Todd Gilliland surging ahead once again off turn number 4, leading by Ryan Blaney, and side by side with Kyle Larson.
Outside lane had to surge last time, inside, back to the front this time, led by Todd Gilliland, but now here comes Kyle Larson to the outside, and he'll swing to the bottom. Back up front, Kyle Larson to the inside of the racetrack, back in turn 1.
Larson crosses over to the bottom of the speedway to take the lead. Now that'll leave the outside, the middle lane, I should say, open for Daniel Suarez. There's a 3-wide line beginning to materialize.
Yeah, that line up against the outside wall is forming. They're back around the 10th spot. Here is Daniel Suarez with some drafting help from Chris Buescher. Buescher shoving him up the straightaway. Here comes Zane Smith, 3 wide on the outside.
Zane Smith putting it top shelf in turn number 3 as he goes a long way around. Daniel Suarez 3 wide now for the race lead at Talladega. Kyle Larson to the way low side. Daniel Suarez in the middle, and then Zane Smith up top.
It only took 3/4 of a lap from that outside lane to go from 15th to the race lead. Huntington Beach, California's Zane Smith leads at Talladega. He's got the field in the rearview mirror, stacked up 3 wide behind him.
Smith out of the shadows makes his charge toward the front of the pack. Zane Smith to the top of the heap, but back comes Larson as they surge around the lap car of Alex Bowman.
Oh, that was really tight coming out of turn number 2 as Bowman was in the way. Everyone was able to clear him, though, and now they race halfway up the Alabama Gang super stretch. It is Zane Smith with Ross Chastain shoving him back to 3.
Those two have checked out from the rest of the field by about 4 car lengths as Kyle Larson will try to surge ahead in that middle lane, that second groove off of the bottom. But up front, Zane Smith clear ahead with Chastain.
And Daniel Suarez, who was second 1 lap ago, has been kicked from the draft and will fall outside of the top 15. Barely hanging on to the lead pack as they cross the line, this time by with Zane Smith out front over Ross Chastain.
Smith and Chastain may have gotten too far out on the pack. They were actually too good in turn 4, and now the pack just gobbles up the daylight and is right back on their back bumper as they hit the back straightaway.
Todd Gilliland now riding in the middle part of the racetrack. Zane Smith downstairs against the double yellow line. That third lane up against the safer barrier. That's where Chris Buescher is. Todd Gilliland, though, the leader in 3.
And Chris Buescher able to make that top lane work in the 3-wide scenario because Bubba Wallace gave him the shove of all his might as Buescher tries to surge in the top 5. They're side by side off 4 with Zane Smith and Todd Gilliland.
Single-digit laps to go at Talladega. 9 laps to go this time by. Here they come back through the tri-oval. It's at the bottom of the racetrack where Zane Smith is by a fender. He's got his Front Row Motorsports teammate right beside him in Todd Gilliland.
Here they come into turn number 1. Gilliland inches ahead by about a half a car length. He'll go from the outside lane to the second to the bottom of the racetrack across the nose of Zane Smith.
Todd Gilliland with a nice move goes down to the bottom side of the racetrack, picks up Zane Smith. So those 2 Ford Mustangs teammates can now work with each other. Just as I say that, though, Gilliland goes up to the middle, opens up the inside for Zane Smith.
Zane Smith will pick back up with Ross Chastain, and Chastain will shove him back to the lead. Gilliland still riding in that middle lane will pick up Kyle Larson, and Chris Buescher trying to make the 3-wide lane look on Ford.
Front Row Motorsports Fords trying to work together at the front of the field, but now they're side by side again for the top spot. Here comes Todd Gilliland, top of the racetrack, passes his teammate who continues to lead the bottom in Zane Smith with drafting help from Kyle Larson.
The Front Row Motorsports teammates have not really linked up that often. The main pusher, especially for Gilliland, has been Ross Chastain. For the moment, though, they'll go nose to tail in the low line.
Yeah, they have found each other, Dave, on the bottom side of the racetrack. Now Gilliland out of turn number 2, jumps up to the middle lane. He blocks Kyle Larson. Larson has got his Hendrick Motorsports teammate William Byron right behind him.
Say you talk about the Fords picking up each other with Front Row. How about Hendrick Motorsports now in the middle lane with Larson leading his teammate William Byron. Christopher Bell has joined the fray, and on that third lane, here comes Chase Briscoe back to the front.
To the line this time. 7 laps to go. Alex Bowman will make his way off the pit lane. Lead draft comes blasting by him. It's Kyle Larson back to the lead. He's got his Hendrick Motorsports teammate William Byron pushing him to the point.
Let's see how long they can keep possession of that lead. Not for long. Charging around the outside. The challenge is on again in the person of Chase Briscoe. He'll go to the lead on the outside.
Chase Briscoe with a nice head of momentum coming out of turn number 2. Kyle Larson tried to slow him down, but he didn't have the help in the middle lane. Here is Chase Briscoe with a shove from Chris Buescher. Those two go 1-2 and they go to the bottom.
Strong push by Buescher leads Chase Briscoe to the top spot. Bubba Wallace now on the outside of Kyle Larson racing for third. Then it's 3 wide behind as you got a gaggle of race cars from William Byron on back.
Briscoe and Buescher clear the rest of the field. They are first and second. Everybody 2 and 3 wide behind them. Coming to 6 laps to go. Now Kyle Larson steps out of line with drafting help for Bubba Wallace to challenge for second. And now the lead topside.
Toyotas pushing Chevrolets. Fords pushing Toyotas. Strange bedfellows in the final laps here at Talladega. Front of the pack, Briscoe. Oh, he nearly got turned as he came off turn 2.
Chase Briscoe, a scary moment. Got the car sideways coming off of the corner. Here is Kyle Larson now in the middle lane with some shoving from Bubba Wallace. It's Larson and Briscoe neck and neck.
Strong move for Bubba Wallace to get back to the back bumper of Kyle Larson as they lead that middle lane. But don't look now. Austin Hill has got help in the form of Anthony Alfredo as a couple of underdogs look to join the chat in the top 10 on the outside.
Austin Hill in that extreme outside lane. The third lane has help from Carson Hocevar, who is topside as well, as they are side by side, 3 rows in front of them. Larson inching out front by a car length over Chase Briscoe for the top spot with 5 laps to go.
Chase Briscoe, though, surges back to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll get a big shove from Chris Buescher midway between 1 and 2. Slides up into the second lane to block the advance. Now right back to the bottom across the nose of Byron.
Chase Briscoe driving out the rear view mirror right now. He's trying to keep all these cars at bay, but he can't block all of them. Here's Kyle Larson stepping to the left, going to the middle around Chris Buescher.
Playoff drivers rising to the top in the waning laps at Talladega as Chase Briscoe leads the field, running the bottom lane with William Byron in tow. Kyle Larson now trying to get the middle lane back formed up with Bubba Wallace in tow as Briscoe defends that middle line.
Down to 4 laps to go in the Yellawood 500. Up front, Chase Briscoe changes lanes, goes all the way to the bottom of the racetrack, picks up the draft from William Byron. Byron not happy there, changes lanes. Oh, Briscoe tried to block and it was too late. Here comes Byron.
Chase Briscoe now had to give up that second groove. He'll hug the bottom with drafting help down low. Byron trying to rim ride his way around the outside in lane number 2. They're side by side for the lead.
William Byron, Chase Briscoe side by side for the top spot up the Alabama Gang super stretch. Byron now shoots out to the lead. Larson shoving him. Here comes Bubba Wallace busting a move to the inside.
Bubba Wallace shoved both the Hendrick Motorsports teammates, then ditched them for the bottom of the racetrack, and now Bubba Wallace going to try to challenge for the top spot, wheel to wheel with William Byron. Bubba Wallace on the bottom gets help from Chase Briscoe.
Didn't look like Bubba Wallace was going to have much help there, but here comes Chase Briscoe. Todd Gilliland to the inside along with Zane Smith. That'll propel Bubba Wallace to the inside of William Byron and to the race lead. He'll lead that lap by 0.03 of a second with 3 to go.
Bare knuckle time at Talladega Super Speedway. Bubba Wallace on the inside. William Byron on the outside. Briscoe and Larson 2 by 2 behind them.
That's how they run, exiting turn number 2. Bubba Wallace and William Byron side by side. Don't forget about that third lane up against the outside wall. That's being led by Chris Buescher. They're 3 wide from second. I'm back with Byron as the leader.
Here comes Chris Buescher with the help of Carson Hocevar, going to pull up to the outside of William Byron. Buescher around the long way. Here at the top shelf in turn number 4 is going to look for the race lead on William Byron.
He's got a full head of steam topside. William Byron occupies the lane just to his left. Inside lane begins to surge as well. It's being led by Bubba Wallace. 2 laps to go in the Yellawood 500 as they race back to turn number 1.
Anybody's ball game as they hit the banking in turn number 1. For the moment, it's going to be Chris Buescher. He's in the middle lane, slides up to throw a block on Byron. Byron goes to the bottom. Buescher dives down to block him again.
Can you hold your breath for 2 more laps? Chris Buescher goes from the middle and now back up to the top. Oh, and around goes Chris Buescher. He gets turned at the front of the pack and slams the inside wall hard on the back straightaway.
Caution flag comes out for the sixth time. A single car incident somehow, Tim Catalfamo, as Chris Buescher was running toward the front of the field when he got turned.
He put on a massive block coming out of turn number 2, did Chris Buescher. He moved from the middle lane up to the top, trying to block, I believe, William Byron. He then got turned, went into the inside retaining wall about halfway down the Alabama Gang super stretch, and has now come to a rest about 100 yards from my feet.
And that'll put us under the caution flag for the sixth time today. William Byron being scored currently as the race leader.